Yes, everybody mute themselves. Hello, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga, and today is December 12th, 2020. We're going to start in the regular fashion, just lying on the floor, supine, with the knees bent, feet on the floor, arms beside the hips, and have your palms up. Just breathing and breathing a sigh of relief. You made it to your yoga class. Noticing the breath that you came in with. Finishing up and then moving to vagus nerve reset. Just bringing your hands behind your head, stacking your hands, or interlacing your fingers without moving anything else but your eyeballs. And your eyes can be closed or open. Shift your eyeballs to the right and wait for an involuntary sigh, yawn, swallow, or gulp. Come back to center. Shift your eyeballs to the left. Waiting for an involuntary sigh, yawn, swallow, or gulp. Come on back to the center and repeat 2 more times, right, left, right, left. Vagus nerve reset. And when you're finished, keep your hands where they are for head ramping. And just pressing the back of the skull, the back of the base of the skull, into the hands, into the mat, into the floor. As you do this, the skull slides up away from your shoulders. And stay here for a couple breaths, and then release and repeat. Repeat 4 times. One more. Finish up. Now, this is where things are going to get different. Instead of doing breath work and core work the way we usually do, we're going to use the sponge ball or roll up a towel and use that. But we're going to use a sponge ball and try to what Jill Miller calls map the diaphragm. So this is still breath work, but it's using the sponge ball. You're going to lie on your side and put the sponge ball under at your rib cage. The diaphragm actually hides. That's too low down. It's farther up. It's up by your breasts. So that's one. That's too low. That's too low, I think, Kathy. It's got to be up where, and now you're going to put your other hand on the rib cage, on the bottom of the rib cage, higher than that. That's the waist. Come up higher than that.
My waist.
And then onto the rib cage, so a little higher than that, Kathy. Hold on to your ribs and take an inhale. So let's see here. It's really, if you can see me, it's up high by your breast. You should feel the rib cage. Ribs 1 through 6. Which is where the diaphragm hides. So you're going to hold, so the ball is immediately below where your hands are, your hand is. So between these 2 points, you're going to inhale and expand the rib cage and the diaphragm into the ball and into your hand. Let's take a big inhale. And then exhale. See if you can kind of squeeze your ribs together. And inhale, and this time, when you come out, you're going to stay contracted and hold at the top of your inhale. And then exhale. And do that 2 or 3 more times. Let's say 2 times, 2 more times. Inhaling into your hand, which is holding onto your rib cage, into the ball. Hold at the top. And then exhale and let it go. And one more time. Inhale. Expand in both directions. And then exhale. And now you're going to roll toward your sternum. Roll over the ball towards your sternum. And you may want to hold on to your head or put your head on a brick. Your ball is going to be higher than that, Kathy.
Okay, hold on.
So, okay. So basically, you're just rolling. Keep the ball where it was and roll forward just a little bit. It's not all the way, Kathy, just a little crescent shape. Not all the way so you're prone. So you're not prone. You're still on your back. I mean, on your side, sorry. Now roll all the way to the back of the spine, towards the spine. Roll over the ball, over the rib cage, over the diaphragm, and then back and forth you go. So you're going to roll towards your sternum, and you're going to roll away from your sternum. Yeah, your t-shirt might get caught in here in the ball.
Just trying to show what I'm doing.
Yeah, you should be up higher than that though, I think. A little bit higher, almost near your armpit. Now your head can be dropped onto a hand as you roll back and forth. Or it can be dropped onto a brick. So that looks too low for me, Kathy. You need it up almost by your armpit. More like that, I think. Now, Kathy's probably saying, well, I sent her a video about this. She
Yeah. Yeah.
You think the video, I was just reading your mind saying you think the video said lower. I don't, that's my interpretation is it's really to the side. Your ball covers the ribs at the side and near the armpit. And then you're just rolling back and forth over this area. So now you're going towards the sternum, and now you roll back until you're going towards the spine. Roll all the way on, almost onto your back. This might be a little awkward. Kathy's saying, yeah, you betcha. So you don't need to move your hips. Just move your chest, your diaphragm over the ball. And come on back. And we're going to go down because we're on this side still. Go down and put your ball at the waist. So farther down now. And there, the diaphragm is the top half of an umbrella, and then there's the connections to the diaphragm actually go all the way down to the transverse abdominal muscle. So from here, you're going to do the same thing. You can put your hands at your waist, your top hand at your waist, and take an inhale. It's a similar movement to the diaphragm, but you're working on the TA, transverse abdominal muscle. It's one of the most important abdominal muscles. So you're going to expand into your hand and the ball, and then exhale. And again, expand. This time hold, contract, hold a contraction, and then release. Do that a couple more times. See if you can find that muscle, the muscle that is an extension really of the diaphragm. But it is not the diaphragm. It's just tendons coming away from the diaphragm. Now rolling towards your belly button and then away from your belly button. All the way till you're almost on your back. Try to map that muscle with your sponge ball. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. I think this might get better if we did it more. This looks and feels awkward at first. Go ahead and switch sides, and we'll do first the rib cage and then the transverse abdominal. And by the way, both of these areas are affecting your breathing, but your diaphragm directly affects the breathing. There you are. Take your top hand, hold on to your rib cage, and expand your breath into your hand and your ball. And when after you get started, after a couple breaths, you can contract or hold the breath at the top of the inhale and feel the resistance that you get from the ball in your hand. And then exhale. And a couple more of those breaths, just inhaling, holding, and then exhaling. Now, remember when I talked about a breathing belt? This is similar to a breathing belt. I think a breathing belt would do this better, but no, there's no such thing as a breathing belt except something I made up. So After you've done a couple more of those, then start to roll. First roll over the ball toward the sternum, and then roll back over the ball towards the spine. You don't have to, shouldn't have to move your hips. It's a movement. Of course, I can't do this at all, but it's a movement of the rib cage over the ball. You'll get better at this if you do more of it. Roll back behind, roll back onto your, almost onto your back. It's to the latissimus dorsi, just behind you, back and forth. I think this is a hard one. And then bring your ball down to the waist. And now we're going to map what Jill Miller calls map or find, really. It's using the ball, breathing into the ball, and to find the muscle. So the first thing you're going to do is inhale and exhale here with your hand on your waist. So this is at the lumbar. This is actually very good for lumbar release. And just breathing. Your hand is wrapped around your rib cage. Your ball is at the waist, and you're breathing into both of those areas. And after you've done a couple ordinary breaths, then you can add a contraction or a hold at the top of the inhale. Inhale, hold, and then exhale. And do that a couple more times. Everybody should buy a sponge ball. You can get them on Amazon or Yoga Tune-Up or maybe some other places. They're good for a lot of things, actually. You can put them behind your back while you're driving at the lumbar. Now you're going to roll forward a little bit towards the belly button, and then away from the belly button, back towards the spine, over the ball. So we're just finding that muscle and tracing it. Back and forth and back and forth.
This works better without a shirt.
This where, oh, well, actually the ball, all of the balls work better without clothing, actually. But I don't ask you guys to take off your clothes for the class. Not necessary. But it's true, you get more traction. If you can, skin to ball is better. Whenever you're finished, I think we're going to go get up to a floor seated position and do some movements before we go back to the ball. So some floor seated side bend. So set your ball aside for now. Find a cross-legged position. Take your right hand and run it along the floor. Up, left hand up and over. I'm going to get a timer here. And just breathing and keeping your sits bones even on the floor. And now bringing the elbow forward, the top elbow forward, find a little bit more stretch along the back side body. And slowly bring your elbow up and now bring your torso up. Switch sides. Switch legs, switch sides. Same thing on the other side. Keep your sits bones even on the floor. Stay here and breathe. Oops, I forgot to tell you to drop your elbow, didn't I? Well, go ahead and drop your elbow for a few minutes before you come up. For a few seconds anyway. Because I forgot to tell you, I started thinking about what I was going to do next. That's very dangerous for me. Come on up. Let's do a spine twist next. So you should probably be in a cross-legged position again. Take your left hand on your right knee. We're going to start on the right. Twist the spine, the thoracic spine, to the right, all the way as far as you can go. And then bring your right hand behind you, spider fingers, and start to glide the rib cage back and forth. So maintain your spine twist and slide the rib cage. You might be sliding differently with the sponge ball work. Try not to involve your shoulders, just the rib cage. And then come on back. Slowly, on the other side. Switch legs, switch sides. Right hand on left knee. This time you're spine twisting to the left. Your hands are behind, left hand is behind you. Find your optimal spine twist and then start the intercostal ribs. Slide, glide. Maintain the spine twist. Come on back, slowly back. Find your way onto your belly with the sponge ball at your navel. Make sure that little pokey part of the sponge ball is down towards the floor. So we're gonna do, this is the abdominal series, sponge ball abdominal series. This also is working on respiration. Starting at the belly button, just lying here. You can have your arms folded in front of you and your head on your folded arms. You can be up on your elbows, either one. And just stay here. We're going to stay here for a timed 20 minutes. Breathing in and breathing out. And now you're going to do a contraction. Stay in the same place. When you inhale, after the inhale, hold a contraction and feel the difference between just the breath work and the contraction. Inhale and then hold. and then let it go, and then do it again. Move your ball up towards the rib cage. Still in the center. The first thing you do is compress. So just wait and feel what it's like to be massaging or releasing the fascia. Just almost up to almost on the rib cage, but not quite. And then go ahead and start to breathe, just an ordinary breath, inhaling and exhaling. This actually releases your upper back too. Now stay here, same place, but this time when you breathe, hold at the top of your inhale. It's a contraction. We're just going to hold for a little while and then let it go. So inhale, contract, and hold, and then release. And then go ahead and place the ball below the belly button. So working on the organs that are hidden in the abdomen. The first stage is compression, just the weight of your body on the ball, breathing. And now start to breathe, inhale and exhale, just ordinary breath. But feeling, noticing what happens on the inhale as your body presses into the ball. And now do the contraction, the breath plus the contraction. So inhaling, hold, so feel the muscle contract and stay for a little while, not long, and then let it go and repeat a couple times. I should have told you guys that we're going to use a chair because I want you to finish up here and then set your ball aside and find a chair. All we're going to use the chair for is to get up off the floor in the easiest way, so we can do some other get-ups. Get-ups, get up, get downs. Start with a chair nearby, or a couch, or something else stable, solid, and up a riser higher than you are. Start on your hands and knees. You want to get up off the floor. You're going to put one hand on the chair. So go ahead and face the chair, Kathy, I think, as opposed to face the chair. You're on your hands and knees, and then one knee comes forward, and then you stand up. Come on down and try it again on the other leg with the other leg coming forward. You can experiment with this. Maybe you're holding onto the chair with one hand and then moving the opposite knee forward. Forward and up. So that's the easiest way to get up with assistance. The next thing I want you to do is a deep squat. So we're going to do all the get-ups, the 4 get-ups we know. With a deep squat, that requires a brick. Well, it doesn't require a brick if you're going to do a pure deep squat, but if not, you're going to put a brick between your legs, just a little bit behind them, and sit on the brick squat, come down in a squat, and sit. So the point is to be able to sit for an extended period of time in a deep squat. So you can sit on a brick, and the brick has 3 different heights, so you can try all of them. Or you can come down and sit without a brick, without something under you. Your tailbone's going to drop as far as it can go. If your heels are high, you need to roll a mat or a towel and put it under your heels. So what I'd like you to do is start doing, and this is going to help you with your get-ups, among other things. It's also going to help you with your lower back, actually, but and a number of other things, actually. So just sitting, just sit watching TV, sit talking on the phone, reading a book, as Kathy is pointing out. There's any number of things. Yep, phone, cell phone, anything. I'm sitting these days with one leg up. This is a little slightly different. It's not quite it's a half a squat. I sit with one leg up, holding my arm, binding my arm to my chest with my sling and my leg. So I'm like, okay, this will do it for now. So I'd like you to practice that as homework, actually. Please do. Squatting, deep squatting. And then the next thing we're going to do, and you need your chair back again, I'm sorry to say, or something stable. We're going to do step backs or reverse lunges, holding on to the chair. So the first thing you have to find out is the optimal distance from the chair. I am not going to be able to help you do that very much. I can cue you a little, but it's going to be, let's see, Kathy might have to move a little forward. I'm not sure. Move a little forward and see. So it's not that, because you have to be able to bend one knee forward and then take one leg backwards with a bent knee. It's like, so it's, oh, okay. So now see, your left leg should be a little forward, a little farther, because you want your left knee directly over your ankle. And that's more like it. So when you come back down, your knee does not have to meet the floor. It can almost meet the floor, and then come back up. Use your chair if you need to, and stand up. So you're going to stand up as you come forward. Step back on the right. Yes. So maybe that's the trick, Kathy, is to go back like you just did, go back farther with your back leg so that your front leg stays lined up with your ankle. Do this a couple more times. I know that a lot of people had DOM, delayed onset soreness, muscle soreness after we did these the last time, including Kathy, I guess. The last one we're going to do, finish up there. The last one we're going to do is bird dog at the wall. So this is a little harder, I think, than bird dog on the floor. And I think it does more work, more preparation for the get-ups, which is why I chose it to add it to this collection. So right arm is on the wall, the left arm is up, and the right leg is back. And switch sides. You have to have you have to be far enough away from the wall so that your arm that's not holding on to the wall can be up towards the wall and still have room for that. This is getting better for you, Kathy. Your hips are more even than they were.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
Well, it just goes to show you that, you know, when you do these things,
Practice. Practice.
practice,
Practice.
practice, practice. But not too much. Don't do 50 of these. Do 5.
Do 49. No.
5, and then do 5 later in the day. Go ahead and finish up the set. Bird dog at the wall. And then we're going to do a back bend at the wall because we're standing and because we can. So we're gonna stand a little bit away from the wall with your back to the wall. Remember, if this is hard for you to do, you can do a back bend on a chair. I've demonstrated it before. So arms up and over. We're going to time this. Wanting to build new bone. If you can only touch your fingertips, that's fine. But if you can touch your palm, even better. So this is a chest opener. Keep your hips lined up with your knees and your ankles. And breathe. Come on down gradually, and we'll do a right shoulder spine twist. So right shoulder at the wall, right leg forward, left leg back. Bend your elbows and rotate your thoracic spine towards the wall. So remember, the hips stay forward, and then the whole upper back rotates towards the wall. Use your arms, forearms, and your hands to provide structure and stability and twist. Building bone in the upper spine, mostly. Unravel yourself gradually, slowly, and then switch sides. Left shoulder at the wall, left leg forward, right leg back. Bend your arms, rotate your thoracic spine toward the wall. Keep your hips, headlights shining forward. And breathe. Okay. Come on, let's do all of that again. So starting with the back bend at the wall. Arms up, overhead arms up and over, and then onto the wall. If you feel any of this in the lower back, you need to modify. First of all, you need to bring your butt back a little because you're probably involving the lumbar spine. Or you might need to modify the twist, the back bend a little. Come on out of that. And switch to the right shoulder spine twist. Right shoulder, right leg. Bring the arms round towards the wall. Keep the hips forward. This movement is like is part of a triangle in a traditional yoga practice. And the triangle is part of the magic of yoga, triangles and twists, actually. So we're doing them a little different than you might find in another yoga class. Come on back out of this, switch sides. Left shoulder to the wall, left leg forward, right leg back. Bend your arms, rotate your arms towards the wall. Use the forearm and the hands for stability, structure, and twist. But the twist, you should feel the twist in the upper spine. You shouldn't feel it in the lumbar. Let's come out of that slowly. Find a chair or something. We're going to do balancing on one foot before we go down to the floor. Balancing on one foot. Remember, when you're balancing, you always need something, a safe point nearby, a chair, a table, as long as it's a stable table. You want the chair too, a wall, a ledge. So just stand parallel feet in good posture and lift the right leg up, bend the knee forward and stay here. Breathe. If you need to, you can touch the chair or touch the safe point. You could create more stability for yourself by looking forward, straight across the room to a point that does not move. Switch sides. Balancing on one foot. If you are losing your balance as you age, which many of us do, if you notice that, how do you correct it? By balancing on one foot at the grocery store. On the bus. Come on back. Let's go down to the floor. Prone. Let's do a prone. Let's do proning first. So we're going to start on our hands and knees. We're going to do a proning hypopressive. Starting on your hands and your knees with your elbows bent and the hands coming together. So you're creating a triangle with your elbow and your hands. Drop your head into the triangle. You may want to put a a brick onto your head if this is uncomfortable, is that this is too much of an angle for you. From here, we're going to take 3 breaths. And then I'll hold the breath. So inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold your breath out. No breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And just come out of that and find your way onto the floor. Good work. That's good work. Core work, breath work. If I had my own COVID hospital, which I don't, I would have people proning with a breath belt and coughing because they would have congestion if they were hospitalized for COVID. Okay, so we're going to do back extension, just lying on the floor with the arms alongside the hips, palms up. Take an inhale to prepare and an exhale. Lift your chest, your arms, and your head. Remember, your head is like head ramping. So the chin is dropping while the head is shooting out towards the other wall. Just stay here for a couple more seconds. And then inhale and exhale to return to the floor. We're going to come back up again, but this time we're going to add airplane. Take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to come up. And then another inhale to prepare and an exhale to come into airplane. Stay here as long as you can. I'm timing for 40. You're building muscles and bone density in the upper back. And if you want to, you can try to lift your chest up just a little higher. And if you need to, come out of this early and maybe come into a child's pose to rest. We have about 15 more seconds. And inhale to prepare and exhale to return. Bring your arms out on the floor in an airplane. Keep the arms pinned to the floor. Look to the right. Lift your right leg up and take it across behind your left leg. You can roll your hip back too. You can bend your knee. You can wiggle your toes. You can do anything you want below the waist. Above the waist, everything is stable and not moving. As evidenced by the armpits being on the floor. Come on back, switch sides, look to the left leg comes up and over. Keep the armpits on the floor, glued to the floor. Okay, come on back. Come into a child's pose with your arms out in front of you, trying to get a stretch in the hips, the lower back, and the shoulders. So walk your arms straight forward. Your knees can be wide or your knees can be narrow, closer. You want to even slip some therapy balls between your knee creases. Actually, that will make it less relaxing. Just feel the stretch in the armpits, lower back, hips. And then go ahead and thread your right arm towards your underneath your left armpit. And keep your left arm straight. Now, Kathy may need a brick. She has at least one cranky shoulder, so she needs to prop, and you might too. Someone else in the class or in the virtual class or in the video class might need a little help on this one, depending on your shoulders. And just breathing. Switch the thread, left arm threads underneath right armpit. Now you can see how it looks from the back. Nice shoulder stretch. Your head is on the floor or on a blanket or a brick. The right arm is straight out alongside the ear. And you're breathing. Slowly come out of that and find your way onto your back for Yoga Nidra, closing meditation. Find a comfortable, warm position. You may want to bend your knees. You may want to extend your legs. You may want to put your bent knees on a chair or a sofa. Warm and comfortable. I'm going to mention 61 points that I want you to move your attention to, but not your body. Don't move your body. Starting with your breath, breathing in and breathing out, observing your belly as it rises and falls with your breath. Now bring your attention and your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes our 61-point guided Yoga Nidra meditation. Go ahead and start to stretch and wiggle. Bring your arms over your head by your ears and take your legs and extend them out if you haven't already. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. Stretch and see if you can find a little more space between your pelvis and your rib cage. And then fold your right knee into your chest. And then your left knee. Hug both knees to the chest and rock from side to side. It's an upside down child's pose. And then roll all the way to the side, onto your side, with your bottom arm as a pillow. And your top arm, you're pressing your palm into the floor to come bring yourself up to seated, side lying. Unmute yourself. I'm going to remove Kathy's spotlight. I'm going to take a gallery view so I can see all of you. And you could choose to do that too, but I don't think I can do that for you, as far as I know. We're going to close the way we always do, just bringing your hands into prayer pose and pressing them together first for a little bit more shoulder work. And you're also stimulating all the nerve endings that are on the palms. There's lots of nerve endings there similar to the feet. Press, press, press. And then go ahead and relax that. And from there, just lift your occipital ridge, the base of your skull, up away from the shoulders toward the ceiling. And then drop your head, drop your skull, actually, roll it forward over the first vertical vertebra, cervical vertebra. Rolling forward, bowing to each other, acknowledging and honoring the light in each other, and knowing that we're all one light. And we're going to close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.